This person writes this post, is it really better to have loved and lost? I would say it is, because it's like once you can kind of overcome the pain of losing, it's like and you have that belief that you can get to that point. So it's like you've climbed the mountain, and maybe you fell off or you got injured or whatever, but then as time goes on, it's like you have that mental picture of, yay, I've been to that mountain before, I can do it again. Versus somebody who has never loved someone or never been loved or been in a relationship like that. It's like they've never climbed the mountain. And so it's like sometimes they just get caught up with time. It's like they intellectualize the whole process and make it into a much bigger deal than it is. Um, Sometimes our first love is sometimes our strongest. That is something that happens. So I guess an advantage with not ever loving someone is you can basically find someone to love for the first time, but that's not necessarily the case that they will love you for the first time as well. So it's just something to know. There's really advantages of and disadvantages of really everything you do, but it's like on this one, I would take the side that it's better to have loved and lost. Because sometimes what you can do with that pain too, because the pain can be sometimes the biggest motivator as far as improving yourself. So it's like if you've never loved and lost, then it's like, well, maybe you'll just kind of stay in the same patterns and you don't have anything that really motivates you to succeed. You might have like the like the going towards motivation versus the moving away from motivation. But sometimes the moving away from motivation, meaning moving away from pain versus moving towards pleasure, sometimes the pain can be the biggest driver as far as what kind of work you could do on yourself. But you kind of have to reflect on that yourself. So if you're thinking that it's the other way around, maybe that's your personality type. Maybe you can be motivated just through moving towards moving towards pleasure motivation. Um, but sometimes you need both, and I think most of the time you do. And it depends a lot on your own interpretations and the own meanings that we assign to things. And each person really has their own custom and unique ways of assigning meaning to things, whether it's, their past experiences, their beliefs, their values. We always try to label something, it's like that sometimes can get us in trouble labeling things and things, but it's really how people in a lot of ways define a meaning. And so it's like if we can define something or label a relationship, then I know what that means versus, where are we at kind of deal. It's just a way to kind of gain certainty into what we know. So, yeah, I would say in regards to your question, I'd say it depends on the person. My personal approach would be that it is better to have loved and lost because you can use that. But it's really just the ends. It's not, that's basically we're focusing right now, at least in my mind right now, it's focusing on the means. But I think the ends is to really sustain another really good relationship where you can feel that love and express that love to someone else. And so if you can, it's just a matter of if you can use this means or whatever means it is, any external, internal, whatever force that kind of guides your life, if you can interpret those with a mental really filter that guides you to that ends, which is having another loving relationship or your first loving relationship, that's really what you need to focus on.